Forget everything you thought you knew about ancient Chinese harems, because this time we're not talking about concubines or palace maiden. Oh no, we're flipping the script. We're diving headfirst into one of the most eyebrow-raising, rarely discussed, and mind-blowing, fascinating elements of Chinese imperial history: the male harem. Yes, you heard right, male harem. Picture unique, young scholars, dancers, and actors, men handpicked to serve the emperor's personal pleasures, both political and, well, more personal than you might think. While popular media often glamorize the empress and her ladies-in-waiting, there's a whole other palace drama that rarely makes it to the screen. This isn't just about gossip or scandals, though trust me, there's plenty of that. It's about power, loyalty, manipulation, and how the imperial court was more than just a patriarchal playground. It was a chessboard of secrets, and some of the key players didn't wear skirts. So if you think you know Imperial China, think again. By the end of this video, you'll see the Forbidden City through a whole new lens. Buckle up, things are about to get royal, radical, and real weird. Setting the stage. What was a harem, really? Let's clear something right away. The term harem in a Chinese context isn't a perfect fit. That's a borrowed word, mostly from Middle Eastern and Islamic cultures, but the concept that existed in Spain. In Chinese, it's called the Hong Kong, meaning back palace, the part of the imperial palace where the emperor's wives and concubines resided. However, hidden beneath this framework of femininity was a more complex reality. Men, yes, men, also lived, served, and thrived within these walls, not always in ways history textbooks are eager to spell out. Entered the eunuch, castrated but powerful. Let's talk about eunuchs. These weren't just palace servants. They were kingmakers, spies, and sometimes lovers, castrated as boys voluntarily or otherwise. They were allowed to serve in the inner court because they posed no threat to the emperor's women. Irony alert. This made them dangerously close to the emperor himself. Eunuchs became the gatekeepers of power, and some wielded it like seasoned politicians. Take Wei Zhongxian of Ming Dynasty. He basically ran the empire from behind the curtain with a hand in every pie. But beyond politics, many emperors kept trusted eunuchs as personal confidants. Some had, let's say, deep emotional connection. Were this relationship romantic, sexual? The historical records are predictably vague, but between the poetry, private letters, and scandalous rumors, the signs, they are there. The scholar beauties more than just brains. During certain periods, particularly in the Tang and Song dynasties, emperors were known to favor young male scholars. These weren't the dusty, bearded academics you're imagining. These guys were educated, elegant, and often incredibly attractive. They'll be brought into court under the guise of mentorship, poetry, or music. But make no mistake, they were eye candy with a side of confusion, philosophy. Some emperor wrote poems comparing their male favorites to moonlight, orchids, and other romantic imagery. Subtle? Hardly. Dancers, actors, and court entertainers. The entertainment industry of Imperial China was a spectacle, and many male performers caught the eye of the emperor. Dancer with fluid, graceful movements, and actors specializing in Dan roles. These are female impersonation in opera, were especially prized. These performers were trained to embody femininity, charm, and elegance. In a world where women's access was restricted, they offered a captivating substitute. The lines between performance and seduction blurred. The Forbidden City might have been built on hierarchy, but it pulsed with foremen, emperors who loved men, historical receipt. Let's name drop a few. Emperor Ai of Han loved Dan Xian so much he allegedly cut his sleeve rather than disturb his lover's sleep. Hence the idiom, the passion of the cut sleeve. Emperor Wu of northern Zhou was said to be enamored with several male favorites, giving them lands, titles, and power. The Qing dynasty, Zhongshan emperor had a particular intimate friendship with a male courtier that raised many eyebrows. History might have tried to sweep these stories under the rug, but Chinese literature, art, and rumor mill kept them alive. Power games, jealousy, and intrigue. You thought Empress versus Concubines was drama? Imagine a court where male favorites competed with eunuchs, entertainers, and female consorts for the emperor's attention. Whispers, bribes, backstabbing. It wasn't just the ladies playing games of thrones. Male courtiers could rise or fall based on a single night in emperor's quarter. And they went above using tears, talent, or treachery to get what they wanted. The punishment when love went too far. Of course, not everyone approved. Court conservative often saw male-male intimacy as a threat to moral order. Scandals could lead to exile, disgrace, or even execution. Some emperors had to balance their affections with political strategy. Loving the wrong man could trigger uprising or cause backlash, but that didn't always stop them. Censorship and erasure. Why you haven't heard this before? Centuries of Confucian values, colonial moralizing, and modern nationalism tried to bury the queer corners of history. Texts were editors, biographies dropped, scandals silenced. But recent scholars and LGBTQ+ historians have been digging it all back up. Turns out, Imperial China was more sexually diverse and dramatically juicy than most people realize. The legacy today, from taboo to TikTok. Today, the concept of male harems and queer emperors is seeing a revival, especially in web novels, dramas, and online discourse. Terms like gong and show, top and bottom trace their lineage back to this imperial dynamic. What was once whispered in palace halls is now shouted across social media. The male harem lives on in fanfiction, historical reinterpretation, and Netflix pitch deck. So, there you have it. The truth about China's male harem isn't just tantalizing trivia. It's a testament to how power, gender, and desire have always been more complex than we thought. While the emperors rule with divine authority, they were still humans, flaws, passionate, and often entangled in relationships that defied easy categorizations. Understanding this part of history doesn't just rewrite what we know about Asian China. It expands our view of humanity itself. Who gets to love whom? Who gets written out of history? And why? The male harem isn't some side note. It's a mirror showing us how deeply politics and pleasure are intertwined, and how history, like any good palace drama, is full of twists, secrets, and unexpected main characters. So next time you think about the Forbidden City, remember, the real intrigue wasn't always between the emperor and his empress. Sometimes it was in a shared poem, a late night dance, or a sleeve gently cut to let a lover sleep. So here's a question for you. What surprised you most about the truth behind China's male harem? Should more historical dramas and novels explore these lesser-known palace stories? Why or why not? Let us know in the comments below. Ready for more royal intrigue and timeless tale? Check out the next video on screen to uncover another fascinating chapter in history. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell to stay up to date with all things royal. See you in the next video.